The things that make a person unclean. The Pharisees and the lawyers, the teachers of the law, came to Jesus from Jerusalem and asked, "Why do your disciples break the tradition of our ancestors? They do not wash their hands, for example, before eating a meal." Jesus replied, "And why do you break the command of God for the sake of your tradition? For example, God has said, 'Honor your father and your mother, and whoever curses father and mother shall be put to death.' Yet you declare a person will not have to honor his father or mother if he says to them, 'Any support you might have had from me is dedicated to God.' This means, for the sake of tradition, you have canceled out God's word. You hypocrites! How accurately did Isaiah prophesy about you when he said, 'These people,' says God, 'honors me with their words, but their heart is really far away from me. It is no use for them to worship me, because they teach man-made rules, as though they were my laws.'" Then Jesus called the crowd to him and said to them, "Listen and understand. It is not what goes into a man's mouth that makes him unclean. Rather, what comes out of it makes him unclean." The disciples came to Jesus and told him that the Pharisees were offended by what he had said. Jesus answered, "Every plant which my Father in heaven did not plant will be pulled up. Don't worry about them. They are blind leaders of the blind, and when one blind man leads another, both fall into a ditch." His disciples asked him to explain this saying. Jesus said, "Why are you having trouble understanding this? Anything that goes into a person's mouth goes into his stomach and then out of his body. But the things that come out of the mouth come from the heart, and these are the things that make a person unclean. For out of the heart come evil thoughts of murder, adultery, fornication, thefts, false witness, wickedness, sensuality, and deceit, to covet, envy, slander, rob, and lie, to be filled with great pride and live foolishly. These are the things that make a person unclean. But to eat without washing your hands as they say you should, this doesn't make a person unclean." This reading is from the New Testament, the book of Matthew, chapter 15, verses 1 through 20. It is also found in the book of Mark, chapter 7, verses 1 through 23.